naik bis dari Universitas Johor, dari Johor. Nah, itu bersama Pak Debashish Nayak. Dan juga beberapa waktu ada kegiatan juga di Ahmedabad yang kita hadiri. Dan juga Pak Debashish sudah seringkali ke Yogyakarta dan membantu juga di International Summer Course di Departemen Arsitektur dan Perencanaan Fakultas Teknik UGM. Pada waktu itu di Imogiri, kita mengembangkan desa binaan Imogiri pada tahun 2018. Dan pada waktu itu ada kegiatan Jogja International Batik Biennale. Baik, siapa sebenarnya Pak Debashish Nayak? Saya mau ceritakan dulu. Beliau interest pada kegiatan yang menarik ini, Heritage Walk Management. Nah, sebuah heritage walk pun perlu di-manage, perlu dikelola. Dan kegiatan ini juga yang akhirnya menjadikan Kota Ahmedabad menjadi World Heritage. Nanti kita tunggu ceritanya. Kemudian Urban Heritage Conservation. Kemudian Community Engagement for Protection of Heritage. Jadi masyarakatnya memang dilibatkan ya sekali dalam kegiatan heritage ini. Kemudian Pak Debashish Nayak ini juga seorang arsitek dengan lebih dari 3 dekade pengalaman untuk mengelola urban conservation di kota-kota pusaka di India maupun di luar India. Dia juga seorang pendiri dan mantan direktur dari Center for Heritage Management of Ahmedabad University. Beliau juga menjadi penasehat untuk Municipal Corporation dari beberapa kota di India termasuk Ahmedabad sejak tahun 96. Selain Ahmedabad yaitu Jaipur, Amritsar, Old Delhi, Lucknow, Puducherry, dan sebagainya. Demikian juga diminta untuk waktu itu mendirikan Indian Heritage Cities Network launched by UNESCO yang juga di India. Beliau juga pengalamannya ya biasanya orang-orang yang termasuk orang-orang ajaib ini adalah juga beliau Ashoka Fellowship tahun 90 sampai 93, kemudian Salper Fellow tahun 1990, 10 Outstanding Young Indian Award tahun 94 dan tahun 95, kemudian Friends of the United Citizen Award of New York and Anubai Shimalal Eman Nagrikta Puraskar, Citizen Award for his contribution for Ahmedabad. Tahun 2015, Pak Debashish juga menerima Lifetime Achievement Award by the Government of West Bengal. Dan juga menerima baru-baru saja Award The Spirit of Ahmedabad yang diberikan oleh Chief Minister of Gujarat karena kontribusinya yang luar biasa pada perlindungan pusaka-pusaka kota. Nah, kita sangat beruntung sekali. Besok pagi beliau akan berbicara di Universitas Gadjah Mada dalam kegiatan Community Engagement and Community Movement. Dan hari ini kita bisa tangkap beliau untuk bisa berbincang di hadapan kita semua. Nanti teman-teman yang ada di Zoom juga silahkan kalau ada pertanyaan, raise hand. Mudah-mudahan kami bisa melihatnya dan kita bisa sampaikan ke Pak Debashish. Oke, Debashish, thank you so much and please, time is yours. You can go there. Selamat datang.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you, Sita, for introduction uh, and inviting me to present my experience in Ahmedabad and its journey to become India's first World Heritage City. And I've been coming to Jogja for many years, and I have seen that you have done, and your group and the organization has been really engaged with the community here, and you have taken up many programs. So all my good luck and good wishes for Jogja's becoming another World Heritage Site very soon. But the journey to become a World Heritage City is a long journey, and it takes a lot of patience. In Ahmedabad, I initiated the process in 1996 when I was invited by the municipality there from Calcutta, and Ahmedabad became World Heritage in 2017. So you can imagine that nearly 20-25 years of continuous work it is involved. And so I'd like to share with you because you are also going to go through the similar journey and already gone through actually. But this will give you a strength that how people can do, by how communities' role is very important for achieving this journey, to initiate in this journey. So in my presentation, I will show you a couple of short films also, very short, to actually take you there, right in Ahmedabad, so that you can also feel the city and understand the process. Yeah, I think you can all see the screen. It is saying getting the city back to the people. What happened in our day-to-day affair, as a citizen, we basically lose the vision, and we don't really see the city. So that's the whole title of my presentation, is getting the city back to its people, so that you can re-enjoy or re-appreciate your own environment. The next slide. The next slide is not.
The walled city of Ahmedabad is more than 600 years old. It has some of the finest Indian Islamic monuments and exquisite Hindu and Jain temples. The intricately carved wooden havelis in the traditional neighborhoods, popularly known as pors, are of World Heritage value. Due to neglect, commercialization, and several social reasons, the old city was going through a rapid decline. Since 1996, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has initiated a people-oriented movement to revive this heritage city.
I also show you small clippings from Discovery Channel, shot very early. It was made by Malaysian Airlines. They were starting their flight to Ahmedabad. So, but it's very interesting how a branding of like Discovery Channel is very helpful for Ahmedabad citizen.
પોર શબ્દ એ સંસ્કૃત શબ્દ પ્રતોલી ઉપરથી આવેલો છે. એનો અર્થ એ થાય છે
That's
કે
English.
વિવિધ
subtitle.
સમૂહના લોકો એક સાથે એક જગ્યાએ રહે. પોળને એક કે બે પ્રવેશદ્વાર હોય છે અને તેની સાથે જુદી જુદી ગલીઓ અને શાખાઓ જોડાયેલી હોય છે. પોળની શરૂઆત 11મી સદીમાં પાટણથી શરૂ થઈ. કાચકલાની હવેલીઓ એટલી સુંદર હતી કે તે સમયના સમાજને અનુરૂપ હતી. આ મકાનોની અંદર ચૂનાની દિવાલ હોય છે અને તે ખૂબ જ મજબૂત હોય છે. પંખીઓને ચણ માટે બાંધવામાં આવેલા ચબૂતરાઓ પંખીઓ પણ કુટુંબના એક સભ્ય છે તેમ દર્શાવે છે કે જ્યાં લોક ઉત્સવ પણ ઉજવાતા હતા. પોળમાં રહેતા વિવિધ કુટુંબો એક વિશાળ પરિવારની ભાવનાથી એક સાથે રહે છે.
What I do normally at the end of the film, I freeze the screen just to show you the logo of the Discovery Channel. Because 25 years back, if your city or place, you have been featured in the Discovery Channel, is a big branding. So this was very good beginning for people of Ahmedabad to see themselves, because no one really knows about Ahmedabad, in the world. So for them, it was a very big break. So when you start working with the city, every city or every town, every space has a story. So like Ahmedabad also has a story. It was founded by Ahmed Shah in 1411. And when he was hunting on the riverfront, he found his dogs have been chased by local rabbits. So this story is also, I believe it is true for Malacca or many other towns. So, but the thing is, the story is there. So when you start working in a place and how you connect your story with the community, the local stories are very, very important. And also, like we have the old old paintings, a lot of travelers passes through your town. So this is a very 1672 Dutch painter, Philip Balduus, painted Ahmedabad, and he named it Ahmedabad. And so these are also very popular vision of Ahmedabad for Ahmedabadis. And we have something called Vastu principles, which is a astronomical connections. Like 12 gates we has a 12 direction, and it has these various gates in the city. And you have to also can collect the old photographs which is available from the older times. So these are the old photographs of Ahmedabad city, which are this is one of the mosque, Rupmati Mosque. And the mosques of Ahmedabad is very amazing because, as you know, Gujarat or Western India is very famous for wood carving. So all the stone carvers the wood carvers have been converted into making mosque, and they managed to make this amazing stone mosque in Ahmedabad. This is a very famous filigree work in one of the mosques in Ahmedabad. It's almost the logo of the city. So this is the 5 square kilometer area, which became eventually the World Heritage City, which is one of the biggest World Heritage City in the world. So around 500,000 population is quite a big number. And as I told you that the whole city is based on the science of Vastu or the nature. You can see if you go to the smaller neighborhood, you'll find that all the roads are north-south. Because always east-west the entrance, and you will find not a single house has entrance from north, not an entrance from south, because south entrance is not supposed to be very auspicious. So it's a very interesting way, and because of this narrow lane, there is very good cool air flow in the whole city, continuously changing the air quality. So there are very interesting town planning, which itself, in fact, one of the nomination for the World Heritage is this unique town plan of the old Ahmedabad. And as you know, it is a desert area, Ahmedabad, and they have no forest. In this has no wood. So they imported this wood from all over the world, from Myanmar, from Malaysia, from south of India, and they made this whole city because they believed in Vastu principles. So we have these massive wooden structures. And this is the kind of a model we prepared, how the construction of the houses are being done. And in fact, when you have the earthquake in 2001, not a single building collapsed in the old city because they could absorb the shaking of the soil. I mean, there's a very unique drawing which I want to share with you. There's like something like ball bearing in between the layers of the wall, which absorbs the shaking. So it is one of the unique design, and I believe that Ahmedabad has a lot of Persian Sufi saints came and settled there. So with them, a lot of Persian architects also came. So Gujarat, Ahmedabad particularly has a lot of Persian from Iran. The architecture from there is very much exists there. And you can see these carvings. It's amazing carvings. In fact, it is Ahmedabad also famous for this block printing in textile. And recently they found these textiles in Cairo, the Coptic textile. Has been collected in the Ahmedabad Textile Museum, which is one of the best museums in the world. And they have kept all this block printing of the facades of the building is actually been reflected on those block printing. So how things are connected, and Ahmedabad is made money also by selling opium with China. So you can see some of the dragon also been shown in some of this wooden carving. And so, as I told you, the main challenge was how to connect Ahmedabad people or a citizen with the city. So we thought that we started this heritage walk, starts from a temple and end as a Jama mosque. So we call it Mandir to Masjid walk, and it becomes so popular. It is last 25 years, it never stopped, and it has been happening. So people came to know their own city through this. And how it has been launched, I can just share it with you. So you can see that how political leaders, opposition, citizens group, all participated in this walk. So heritage walk is a very traditional method, but how we used it to engage communities is very, very important. And so this is a chart which is showing you about how heritage walk can trigger off a lot of documentation process, which is very important, fundraising, cleaning up. So many issues are connected. Heritage walk is really a true catalytic process to revive any historic town or city. And from where our heritage walk starts is at a massive wooden structure, and is called Swaminarayan Temple. There's a walk within that temple also. And also there are a lot of poets, writers in the city. So we found their houses. We converted their homes as a square where we started having poets, storytelling and theaters, drama, and he's celebrating his birthday. He was born in 1820. 21st January is his birthday. So, I mean, I just came from a meeting 3 days back. Now, every year on 21st January, they celebrate their birthday. But now this year, they're going to have a big way with the theater, with the drama. So how you engage community using the history of that town is very, very important. You can see this poet festival happening, theater is happening, how it has been inaugurated. In fact, the house is already gone long time. So we made that plan of the house with the stone on the open square, and that has been used as a theater space. There's another poet, another square, another story. This is the theater happening in another story. So how we connect the citizen with the literature, with the student with the literature, and various performance which connect them truly to their city's past. And also, like every house in the old city has a underground rainwater harvesting system. So we revived many of this old rainwater harvesting. And one day this French ambassador to India came for the heritage walk, and he was so impressed. After that, we had a very long agreement, and almost 7 years, the full French team stayed in the municipal corporation and spent a lot of money and restored many homes. So how you take this opportunity? So after the walk, we had a formal agreement, and in fact, I was watching in my, India bought a lot of Rafale fighter jets. And when this thing happened, Mr. Modi was the chief minister of Gujarat. And he's referring in the national channel while he was receiving those French delegation for buying the Rafale fighter jet. And he appreciated their contribution in Ahmedabad's preserving history and heritage. So you never know how things gets connected and your purpose is achieved. So we also brought in, because we are working with the municipality, like the whole banking system, the creative finance. In fact, as Ibu Sita was mentioning about creating a whole conference on heritage finance, and we have done very unique, innovative heritage financing. Like if you want to restore your house, if your building is more than 15 years old, in Indian banking system, you can't even apply for a bank loan. So we had to change a lot of policies. So that is very crucial if you get into the financial system. Today, Ahmedabad city has one of the best financial incentive for restoring heritage building. In fact, ultimately, I declared around 12,000 building as heritage. And finally, after UNESCO list been approved, 3,000 is officially the heritage buildings. So we have to manage that. So these are the bird feeder. Every neighborhood is, we have this structure, very unique structure to give food to the birds. So before, all the elected municipal councillors or member of parliament, they all have some budget for spending. So, but heritage was never part of that. So we changed that policy. And every project we did, we put a poster on the site in local language and in English that who is paying and how it is being done, and what is the technique. So make the process very transparent. So that way, now we have around 120 bird feeders in the whole city. All are restored with funding from the elected officials, which normally they never spend. Our financial year is ending at March. So a lot of money is unspent, remain. So we really, by February, we try to see that all monies are spent. So how to utilize the existing funding is also very important. And also taking the help of media. And like the young journalists also not been trained about heritage. So whenever they come for a story, we tell them, you must go for the heritage walk and come back. So that way, there is a newspaper called Times of India, which is very popular in India. So they made a whole book on all the articles they published last 15, 20 years. And that has become a very popular document to follow. Because when you want to work with a city, you have to work with the media, because media change the mindset of the people. These are many children's books we have prepared when you restored that particular bird feeder, and that also with the puppet show. We also have a very popular song called Auto Rickshaw, like Tuk Tuk. We have in Ahmedabad, we call it Auto Rickshaw, and they have a music and popular song. So we used it as a game for the kids. We also approach various international funding agencies like World Monument Fund, and through that we also raised some money and restored a community space. So while restoring individual building, we also try to restore the community space where community can come and spend time there. And like this is another community space. You can see this old photograph on the top. And we found the bottom is the most dilapidated facade. And this is how it looks after it been restored. So because old city cannot become a museum, so you have to have a community to live there. So that's why you can see there's, and if the fund comes from the community participation, then it sustains themselves. So that is very, very important. So you can see this on the left to right, how does every whole temple has been dismantled, tagged, and then restored and put it back. So it really become very impressive on the facade, the old wooden Haveli. We call the old building as Haveli there. And also these are the houses. When I first went to Ahmedabad, I met this owner and he allowed me to stay in this house for many years, free of rent. Then he donated the building for an NGO work, and now it is becoming another smaller museum. So this is also a book and also animation film, a little girl showing her house to the outsider. So we have to continuously produce many material so that children also can become part of your story. So one day I took 40 painter for heritage walk. They never seen the old city. And after that, they did some workshops and they started painting the old city. In fact, there's a retired art school teacher association. I never realized that. Art school teacher association. So they started taking classes, art classes to young kids in the old city, in the restored houses. And then they become very popular. So it's very interesting that how artist in this process. And make a visual training for the citizen to appreciate the city. This is one sculpture. He made these sculptures and displayed along the heritage walk route. And you can see that it has been protected by the community for more than a month. So how you display this artwork in the old city, that is also very interesting to learn. This is one reporter. It is in Hindi, but you will find that flavor how they have interviewed community for.
भारत का हर गांव, हर शहर अपने आप में कुछ ना कुछ इतिहास संजोए हुए है और अहमदाबाद भी इससे अलग नहीं है। यहाँ की खासियत है यहाँ की हजारों हजार ऐतिहासिक हेरिटेज इमारतें, जो कि कुछ लोग मानते हैं कि पूरे भारतवर्ष में सबसे ज्यादा हैं। आइए देखते हैं किस तरीके से अहमदाबाद के लोग जुटे हैं अपने इतिहास को बचाने के लिए और ऐसा करने में उनको क्या क्या दिक्कतें पेश आ रही हैं। Mr. Christian, what primarily made you to associate yourself with this old city of Ahmedabad?
I was very impressed by Ahmedabad for two reasons. The first reason is city planning of old Ahmedabad, old the city. It's very interesting with the Poles. French-Indian work is not only French work. We are working together and try to find solutions how to preserve city planning.
आइए बात करते हैं कैसे परिवार से जो इन रिस्टोर्ड मकानों में रहते हैं।
They restored the house, first one, and for bed and breakfast.
एक्चुअली क्या था, ये मकान पूरे 25 साल से अनयूज था और हमने हेरिटेज डिपार्टमेंट का कांटेक्ट किया।
सभी लोगों ने बोला था कि क्या देख के मकान लिया है, जब ये हुआ तो सभी को मालूम पड़ा कि कितना अच्छा हुआ है।
See, these are the short films, and many people you see in the films, all them showing, they are mostly dead. Because when you start working, now I'm working with the 5th generation of their family. So you have to continuously be engaged in that place to continue this process. So it's very important that you are there, or create a group which continues and engage the community all the time. So these are all this restoration process has been very well documented, and it has been also the material for the students to learn how you restore, because normally in colleges they don't teach you how to restore old buildings particularly, because every place is different, and how these houses become first bread and breakfast in Gujarat, and then they have 2 daughters, they have cultural classes, dance classes. So how all these spaces become culturally very active. And this is some before after. It was small houses, very poor family, but how it has been restored. This is that bird feeder before after. This is the temple complex. This is another. I love this slide because how the old one on the left, you feel that you must demolish and put a new one. But after restoration, it looks so glamorous and so nice and unique. And some of the house also got a little gentrified. They have a small restaurant in this house. And this is a French Haveli. The French people used to stay here as a tenant. And after that, they left. It became another bed and breakfast. And this is very important because here I have collected many visiting cards of people who have taken heritage as their profession. So how you create jobs, how you make financial difference, engagement with the citizens and the city is very important. So one day I took 100 builder. Builder means who makes a new building. Normally they have been visioned as the enemy of the heritage. But when I took them for the heritage walk, next day you can see two major newspaper put full one-page article about their visit. And after that, they formed a foundation. They took in a Haveli, set up a cultural center there, and then they started giving heritage awards, because if that way you engage this community, the builders. In fact, some of them I took them to Spain and Italy to see the heritage building material trade fair, and they came back and they used those knowledge to restore many Havelis in the old city. And but the thing is how you connect the community the other way. So 19th to 25th November is considered in India as a World Heritage Week. So I request people to do something during that week, and they started doing something in that week, and so many programs started happening, and people started attending those programs, the painting, the dance festivals, Sufi festivals, Ahmedabad's Foundation Day ceremony. These are the very famous Sarkhej Sufi saint Mazar is there, and so we have a festival there. We have a sound and Sufi Mazar called Sarkhej Roza, and he also came from his disciples came from Persia, and he was there. His festival is very much there. And you can see there's literature festival, painting exhibition, discussion forum. So also various walk, like why Gandhi came to Ahmedabad. So that walking is there, and children's walk, then this craft walk, and then we have a lot of Jains temples are in the old city. So we have the Jain heritage walk of the temples more than 400 years old. It is their traditional way of putting their pictures of their gods. So we use a similar pattern and design for a Jain walk brochure. And it has been now India Ahmedabad being the first city in India to take up this heritage thing. So government of India also started sending all other cities of India to Ahmedabad to learn from the city. So we started replicating Ahmedabad model all over the places. And we also realized that we have Alias Fosse, British Council's French Dutch Center in city, but we don't have India Center abroad. So we taken our mayor and our citizen to start doing a MOU with Spain, with Germany, with France. This is a center has been set up in Spain, a India Center, and people of Ahmedabad donated the replica of this old building to the India Center there. So I took our whole team from Ahmedabad and mayor to donate, to erect the thing. So every year now, Spain, India has a lot of business and a lot of initiative happening. So you can also use heritage to connect people and ultimately the benefit of the community. So I thought that why not to call Asian World Heritage Cities Conference. So we call all the Asian World Heritage Cities in Ahmedabad. I think Sita was also there, Professor Aidil also there. And all my friends from Southeast Asia, I called to have a big party. And our Mr. Modi, who is now the Prime Minister of India, he loved it. He was the Chief Minister. And he, in fact, released this book by Times of India, all the article published over the last 25 years to celebrate the 600th birthday of Ahmedabad city. So that way, then everybody decided, okay, now let's make Ahmedabad also a World Heritage City. You have to create a political will. So that happened. So we declared 12,000 building as a heritage building. And this is the India's first heritage plaza. This is actual photograph of the day it was inaugurated in Ahmedabad. And then we realized that we need people. So we also have this, we started the master's program in heritage management in Ahmedabad University. We launched it with the international conference and where Sita was also present. You can see her in this photograph. On the left side, bottom, second lady, a third lady is Sita standing. So Yogyakarta has been part of our Ahmedabad journey for many years, and you can see the connection. And we have started short courses initially with heritage walk management, and then eventually the master degree also was launched. We also did a lot of program with European Union, how to create heritage-based projects. So with the Spain, we started this heritage lab, also another unique system, how you create a heritage ecosystem in a town, and how you collect data, and how you collect the best practices. And then we identify people and help them to develop their business. This is our first batch in that small program. I took some of them to Spain also. This is their display of their businesses they have launched as a part of this program. And this is in 2007, after 2011, the first, it is the old UNESCO website. You can see the Ahmedabad got into the tentative list. So this is the old, so Ahmedabad city first time. I believe Jogja is also already in the tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage. So then it took another years, 7-8 years. So 2017, 8 July, Ahmedabad finally became the India's first World Heritage City. And one of the protocol they changed, the head of UNESCO actually came to Ahmedabad to deliver the certificate to our chief minister at that time. So how you whole city celebrated this achievement. In fact, now they are in a bigger trouble because Ahmedabad become World Heritage, so they have to preserve everything. So this is a way how you engage a city and the media, and you can see that media have been so much supportive about this whole process. This is, we found one of the founder family of the city. It's a 600 years old city, but we still have the founder. So every year on 26 February, they have a celebration where the foundation stone was laid. And this is their birthday card of the city. And you can see this 200, 607. And they all come together on the riverfront and they celebrate and the spot where Ahmedabad was founded. So here it was founded by a Hindu, a relation happened between a Hindu priest and 4 Muslim Sufi saints with the king himself. He said that anybody who has never missed a namaz, we should have to find out 4 of them and let them do the foundation of Ahmedabad. So although, you know, there's Gujarat and India has this Hindu kind of a movement, but you can see in Ahmedabad, all the community coming together to celebrate the foundation of the city, which is very, very unique. And I think I'll end it here. I don't know, you have some question facility or something, so we'll have to share it with you. Thank you.
Terima kasih, thank you, Debashish. And Ibu dan Bapak sekalian, tadi 5.000 meter persegi atau 5, how many is 5,000 square meter, right?
5 square kilometer.
Kilometers, ya, 5 kilometer. Jeron beteng kita itu 1 kilometer. Jadi 5 kali jeron beteng. Dan yang diurusinya itu banyak rumah-rumah. They have 12,000 houses, right? 12.000 rumah. Dan yang lucunya kan tempat-tempat pertemuannya tadi selain ada MCK adalah tempat burung dara makan, bird feeder. Ya, itu juga satu hal yang menarik. Dan antar satu rumah dengan rumah yang lain itu lorong-lorong begitu ya, saling bertemu. Dan itu tadi dibantu oleh Perancis untuk mendata dan baru 3.000 yang didata. Komplit dengan potongannya, desainnya, ukirannya dan sebagainya. Jadi ini satu hal yang mungkin sebenarnya lebih sulit loh daripada nominasinya Jogja. Nominasi Jogja, so we are talking in comparison with Yogyakarta. In Yogyakarta focus more on the product of the first Sultan number 1. So the Mangkubumi, Prince Mangkubumi, ya, Pangeran Mangkubumi dengan karya-karyanya. Jadi itu lebih pada bangunan lama, intangible juga. Tetapi rumah-rumah penduduk memang belum termasuk atau tidak termasuk. Tetapi yang di India ini 12.000 tadi ya, 5 km persegi, dan prosesnya Debashish kerja sampai 30 tahun, jadi memang panjang sekali. Nah, sementara ini saya akan memberikan dulu kepada teman-teman yang ada di Zoom ya, kalau akan bertanya silahkan raise hand. Jadi atau ditulis dulu di dalam chat juga boleh. Nanti sambil menunggu ada pertanyaan atau sudah ada yang raise hand? Mbak Yeni, belum ada yang raise hand. Pak Suhardi yang ada di Medan, silahkan. Kalau akan menyampaikan sesuatu karena ini terkait juga dengan kota. Jadi kota-kota pengusulan dari Ahmedabad itu adalah tentang kotanya. Nah, sementara yang di Yogyakarta itu lebih kepada aksis ya, yang kemudian dengan landmarks yang ada di dalamnya, termasuk yang ada di Jeron Beteng. Adakah pertanyaan? Silahkan. Belum ada, kalau belum ada yang dari Jogja, monggo Ibu Dwita dipersilahkan di ini ada mikrofon. So Ibu Dwita will have a question to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was interesting, your presentation, and I think you are lucky to have and live in Ahmedabad. I was wondering, and it seems that all of the people in your city, Ahmedabad, understand about the outstanding values of their city, yeah, and then have a high awareness in conservation of the city. I want to know how at the first time you involved in the conservation activities there to ask people to join you in the conservation in first, and then after Ahmedabad was inscribed by UNESCO as the World Heritage City, as I know that management is very, very crucial, yeah, very important. So I just wondering how the what you call public-private partnerships, yeah, among government and then people, and also NGO and maybe other parties can work together, yeah, to manage the Ahmedabad. Yeah, that's. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your many questions. So I hope I can open it up. In fact, my presentation followed that structure of how you initiate, and like the interesting is that first question you said that I'm lucky to be in Ahmedabad. That is yes, but I'm not from Ahmedabad. So it was a professional choice. I'm from Calcutta, and my mother still lives in Calcutta, and so I keep on going back and forth to Ahmedabad almost since last 25 years. And but the thing is, I chose to be in Ahmedabad because there is a positive atmosphere of people not interfering whatever you are planning to work with. And the first thing I said that I realized that, and it was I was more also very positive because I was working with the municipal corporation. So people looked at you normally look at municipality as a negatively. So when you talk to be in the municipality and try to initiate programs, so whole city administration takes the pride. So that is another strategy. And I feel that Gujarat, this Ahmedabad is a place called, is named, is part of a state called Gujarat. Most of the Indian you see abroad, in fact, they are mostly from Gujarat. If you go to Malacca, Penang, they are all Gujarati societies there. And they have been doing a business community. And business community always understand the value of time and the investment and return. So if something could be looked at as a return, So that is helped. That helped. And the heritage walk also worked like a miracle, because first time they started. So you have to, instead of complaining that people don't understand the value of heritage, so we started working with media and stories and Heritage Week. A lot of festival has been created, and at the same time, the heritage walk is like you brushing your teeth every day morning. Every day 8 o'clock, you reach the temple and you take you for this walk, which ends at Jama Masjid. So temple to mosque walk is also very crucial for people. Look at everything as a architecturally beauty. People become very neutral about the places they are passing through. So these are the stage by stage work, and we never thought of to get into UNESCO. But when you grow more, engage more people, start restoring many houses. In fact, we had this 2001. We had an earthquake, and the French were already there. So when you have the earthquake, so that triggered off the restoration process, because of that we had to restore many buildings because of that. So the earthquake worked as positively for the city of Ahmedabad. So there are many factors. In fact, I have published this 2-volume book on this whole process. I'll share it with Sita. Maybe in future you can order it through Zoom, or I have a copy here also I can show you. So it is worth. Now I'm looking at this whole process could be done in any places, any context. That's why it is important to understand this process, which could be applicable anywhere, because every area, every place is different and unique. So you have to respect that uniqueness and take it from there.
Bagaimana Bu Dwita? Pertanyaannya ini tadi. Yes, I think this is what you have done so far. And I remember when we visited and you show us the young civil engineers become the investor. Yes. Rajit. And then the other one is who bought the hotel of the family hotel.
Yes.
So can you also explain us how, because last time I asked them, pada waktu itu saya tanya, kenapa mau investasi ke bangunan-bangunan tua ini? Karena uang. Jadi memang pikirannya memang bisnis itu. Jadi sudah saatnya ya bahwa kita melestarikan bangunan itu tidak hanya di Pugar saja. Selama ini di Jogja banyak sekali pemugaran dilakukan, tetapi masih hanya di Pugar saja, belum dimanfaatkan dan belum dapat dikembangkan secara bisnis. Sehingga tidak menghasilkan uang, bahkan pemeliharaan pun masih subsidi. Nah ini kan tidak tepat. Jadi ini juga satu hal yang mungkin perlu kita juga coba pelajari. And could you once again please to also mention about the project of Rajit, because we would like to invite him next year for a Zoom meeting to show what is his project already done. Please.
See, the people who understand the construction best is the builders, or who do the construction business. And if you can make them sensitive, they could be your big friend. So which is exactly happened in Ahmedabad. When they came for the heritage walk, they suddenly rediscovered their town, which is very crucial. And they could find, in fact, they are doing major project in the new part of Ahmedabad. They said, why not a percentage of their investor can also invest in the old city? And but only problem was there was no supporting proper law. Like the tax law was different. So if you have a building converted into a bread and breakfast, you have to pay commercial tax. So from municipal side, I could change the tax policy so that if you are in a bread and breakfast or an art gallery, then your tax will be like a residential. So that helped. And then government of Gujarat also adapted and also did the bread and breakfast policy. So one thing leads to another, and they started investing in the restoring some of the houses, and they learned a lot. In the process also, French by that time had left. So we found something called TDR, transfer of development right. Like which is very successfully happening in Ahmedabad. When you want to build a new floor, extra floor in the new city, and your building is a heritage building, then you can apply for a grant from the builder who is adding this new floor. It's called a transfer of development right, which works perfectly well, so that he can give money for restoration. And he, in the process, there is a bank account, I mean, the FSR account in the municipal corporation. The whole trading is done through the municipal certificate, so that you apply for an extra floor, you identify a heritage building, and the owner have to apply for a building restoration. The building restoration project has to be approved by the Heritage Committee. I'm also the member of the Heritage Committee. We approve the plan, and then he received the fund. And there are also methods of doing that. First you get 20%, then after some work is done, you get another 50%, and then the final 30%. So there is a system which is evolved over time, so that any heritage building get their money from a new construction in the new city, which is a very well done, properly done. But also there are a lot of emotional connect. You engage citizen, engage, because everybody in Ahmedabad now, like every one example, everybody is in Ahmedabad now thinking to write in their visiting card that India's first UNESCO World Heritage City, Ahmedabad. So that everybody is engaged in a minimum way. So you have to find a way of how you can engage public. And people of Ahmedabad, they know how to manage money. And so they are also very sensitive about it. So it is a continuous process.
Okay, so we have, actually, I'm very jealous with your city for the management of Ahmedabad, that we also can apply for support, right, for this one. Now we have a questions from Gorontalo. Gorontalo is a city north part of Celebes, Sulawesi. So he asked about what kind of variable that can be utilized for making a research first.
No, can you repeat that question?
Okay, the question is what kind of variable that can be used to make the study of a city like Yogyakarta, but what kind of concept that it can be also applied on the area that is not a city, but is just a district, like what he has in Gorontalo. The district name is Lorelindu, in center of Celebes. And he tried, this is not a city, but it's just a district. So what is your suggestions that if they would like to make a study on this district, it will be different with the city, or it is the same with the city? So yeah. Please.
Thank you for the question. See, one have to make this, the complexity as a simple solution. Like for Ahmedabad, we just started people walking from point A to point B, and you got up in the morning and you go there, join the walk. Guide is already standing there on the starting point. You don't have to register, go to any formality, 8 o'clock, go there, take the walk. So, and within 2 years, your thing is done. So it is very simple story, complex story made very simple. So for a district, is always you have to start working for the history. And I'm sure there must be some war happened, or some kind of a famous person was born there, or some good architectural building or archaeological sites are there. So you have to find out that why you are important, why you appreciate your district. So that appreciation needs to be translated into some kind of an action. Maybe you found somebody, maybe a group of people was born in a particular way, some poet, his birthday you celebrate. Ahmedabad had a problem that how to celebrate the birthday because of certain reason it was not been very appreciated. So, but we found a story where the two community came together and decided to found Ahmedabad. So use that story as an event, and every year we make it ritual. Very 26 February. The birthday has been celebrated, people come, we see to it that it is done. Now it is being taken up by people. So I feel that for you, the main challenge is to identify that what is your strength, what is the main story, and if it relates with some kind of structure, if you can you take it up as a restoration challenge, then you can do crowdfunding, maybe make a proposal. In fact, one of our major thing in our process was making a proposal for a proposal. I mean, actual proposal might take time to get fund, but you can always make a proposal for making a proposal, because making a proposal is a very expensive process. You have to hire consultants, advisor. So, and proposal for proposal, normally you get funding is because simple amount and so that something has to be written. So I feel that if you can follow these few points, I'm sure, and you know, old Britishers or old colonial state like country like India, we have this. They had to old officers always have to write the history of the district. So if you can find some old gazetteer or the old history or of your place or mythology, that might also help. So this research is very, very important to start with, and then plan the action.
Ya, jadi menurut Pak Debashish itu memang harus dilakukan kajian yang lengkap ya. Jadi di sejarahnya, bagaimana ya hal-hal yang menarik di tempat itu, kemudian disusun, ditata, dan memang heritage walk juga perlu dipersiapkan. Nah setelah dari situ baru kemudian action dikembangkan. Jadi itu cara-caranya. Tapi kok memang lama ya waktunya. Why is you have to be 30 years to work for this one in Ahmedabad? Any challenges that you face during your works from the heritage walk?
No, there are 2-3 reasons. One is that it takes time. Second is that I'm from Calcutta, and people from Calcutta is always very rebellious. They always have a government which is anti-center. We had a communist government, we had a present government. They're always fighting with the central government. So always at a fight. So and for this kind of work, you have to do the policy change, which is the central government has to be involved. So I could take a file from Ahmedabad to Delhi, not from Calcutta to Delhi. So that is one of the major reasons.
Oh, you have to work also with the Delhi policy.
All the time.
I see.
You always have to.
It's not the local government.
Not
from
the local
Ahmedabad.
government.
Okay,
local government supports you, but you have to carry the file to Delhi. But when you send it for the UNESCO, fortunately, my work, I was very famous in Calcutta, and the two top officer, head of archaeology and secretary of the culture, both were from Calcutta and Bengalis. And when they saw my Ahmedabad file, they are very happily let it go, you know, and their support was very important. So you never know from where it helps come. So you have to be very sincere, and very transparent with the people. That is very important, you know, because people understand what you're doing. So that's why I kept on things happening in Gujarat and in Ahmedabad, and it evolved over time. So then I joined the Ahmedabad University, where I started India's first master degree in heritage management. So that continued. Then the Corona came. So now a new direction is opening up. We are working for the children education, teachers training module for heritage education for school children. You know, all this college education. So education is becoming a more and more focus where you can work from anywhere.
Yes, thank you, Debashish. Ya, kita bisa belajar dari pengalamannya beliau. Memang pekerjaannya itu panjang karena beliau juga dari Calcutta dan juga urusannya harus dengan Delhi. Tetapi dengan bekerja bersama masyarakat, itulah yang justru bisa menjadikan mimpi-mimpi itu bisa diperoleh. Dan ini di sini kan juga perlu sekali ya, di Jogja, juga di kota-kota di mana kawan-kawan yang ada di Zoom ini juga berada, itu memang bisa dilakukan oleh teman-teman sendiri bersama local government. Jadi kalau Gorontalo tadi mungkin tidak harus ke Jakarta, tidak seperti di India, mungkin langsung saja dengan pemerintah daerah di Gorontalo. Baik, ini selanjutnya ada pertanyaan dari Zoom, Pak Suhardi. Pak Suhardi Hartono itu Presiden Indonesian ICOMOS yang berada di Medan. Pak Suhardi sebaiknya langsung saja ya, jangan saya bacakan, bisa? Mari silahkan Pak Suhardi. Mungkin bisa dipin Mbak Yeni. Silahkan Pak Suhardi, langsung pertanyaannya. Thank you from Gorontalo. So she mentioned, itu Pak Suhardi. Silahkan, masih unmute. Masih mute. Ya, silahkan di unmute.
Yeah. Thank you, Bu Sita. Can you hear me, Bu Sita?
Please louder.
Yeah, can you hear me, Bu Sita?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, okay, good afternoon. Thank you, Bu Sita, and thank you for your interesting presentation, Mr. Debashish. I'm interested in the situation of public-private partnership, the practice of public-private partnership since the inception of, or even before the inception of Ahmedabad as the World Heritage City of UNESCO. And maybe you can share with us your experiences or the experiences of your colleagues in Ahmedabad practicing this public-private partnership in utilizing heritage assets for economic gains, but without compromising the conservation of their heritage values. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, is there any question? Can you repeat the question, please? Sorry.
Pak Suhardi, diulang lagi, tadi missing, ya.
Yeah, can you hear me, Bu Sita?
Ya, bisa, silakan. So, Debashish.
Okay, Mr. Debashish, I would like you to share with us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, can you please share with us your experiences or your colleagues' experiences in practicing the public-private partnership before and after the inception of Ahmedabad as the World Heritage City? What are the lessons that we can learn, especially Jakarta, in utilizing heritage assets for economic gains without sacrificing or compromising the conservation of their heritage values through the schemes of public-private partnership or collaboration between the public sectors and the private sectors? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Now I have understood your question. I feel that the public-private partnership is very crucial. Although I was not an employee of the government, but I was official advisor of the municipal corporation. And this is the first time in India, a heritage department has been opened by a municipal corporation. So whatever initiative I have taken, I always it needs to be implemented. So one of the challenges is that our role in the government is to make the process easier. We have to play the role of an enabler who will understand and how a private person can engage themselves, because a private person who has fund or do something good, they don't have time, or they don't want to go through any complicated situation. So if you can make a system, like any project I did, I always made a proposal first, got the proposal approved by the authority, and only then is to go to the community or the partner. So when is the partner or the future who wants to support this initiative, if he feels that all the paperwork is ready and there's a government approval on the project, not the financial approval, so they come happily and join the project, and they also get their due recognition. So all the projects you have shown you in my presentation, all of them are funded by the community, but always you can see they're supported by the government. So if you don't have to ask money from government, it is sometimes comparatively easier to engage the community. So that is I think the secret of how you make the investors on projects logistics simpler, so that a investor can come in a very simple way, and there is no hassle for implementing the project. Many times it happens that you ask for money, once the money is given, the project never gets implemented. So you have to have a track record of implementing project without hassle. And the amount also needs to be not very large, smaller amount, but very visible projects. So I think that is the way we have been working.
Bagaimana Pak Suwardi? Please, if you still have a question.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Debashish. It's very enlightening. Terima kasih kita.
Ya, terima kasih Pak.
Thank you.
Matur nuwun, Bu.
Yes, sami-sami. There is another questions from Pak Anto from Magelang. So we have a question from different places. I will ask Pak Anto, do you want to say by yourself or should I read your questions, Pak Anto?
Yes, thank you, Bu Sita.
Yes.
Thank you for Mr. Debashish' interesting presentation. I want to ask you about sustainability. How can you control the quality of the building, the areas in the city of Ahmedabad to remain as expected? And the second is, what aspects should be considered and what is the most important? Thank you.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay. Yes, silahkan diulang Pak. Dia sambil mikir.
Yes.
Okay.
The first question is, what can you control the quality of the building and the areas in the city of Ahmedabad to remain as expected? And the second question is, what aspects should be considered and what is the most important?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I think I have understood the question. See, there are many factors. One of the factor in the old Ahmedabad is the density. So in many cities across the world, they make multi-story buildings in the old city because they get very high floor space index. It's called FSI. And because of that, it get massive pressure on the infrastructure. And that becomes the collapsing the whole living quality. So you have to first improve the quality of life. What in Ahmedabad we did, our first thing 25 years back, you could build, the FSI was 3. 3 means you can build 7 to 8 story building in the old city. So that has been reduced in the old city area from 1.8 to 2. So most of the buildings are built more than 2 floors. So if you build demolish and build a new building, it won't be more than 2 floors. So most people prefer to restore rather than demolishing and building a new one. So that was controlling the density of the old city is very important. And also need to have a proper traffic system and parking system. So where in Ahmedabad now have a new metro, which is the only through the old city they are going underground. So the livability of the old city is becoming very positive. And because of the UNESCO World Heritage, we are using this process in a very sustainable way so that people have stopped using their own vehicle, because old city is now very well connected with the other grids of metros and special bus transit system and all that. So if you look at it, that the density and the infrastructure, these are the major issues, and there are many factors of the wholesale market is also there. So we are gradually addressing them. Also, we have to have a fire system, fire safety system. So we have a special unique fire system is implemented for the whole city, so that if there's a fire, you can quickly reach the spot by the fire brigade. So these are the major factors. And when you're restoring a building, you are actually gaining your green footprint, because you are actually reviving and recycling the old material. You are not bringing in new material. So recycling is also very important for sustainability. So if you look at it, and also like we revive the old water system, rainwater harvesting, and using lime, so that it becomes a very traditional building technology. We also train many wooden craftspeople or building craftsmen to relearn the old knowledge of construction. so that it is also remain very temperature also in control. And old city of Ahmedabad is the climate wise is also very unique. In the summer it gets the cooler air view, and then in winter it remain warm. So that is also a lot of thing to learn from the old city planning, and also the community relation, because all people know each other, and there's a trouble and problem, your neighbor is always there to help you. So those are the factor which is very important and surviving and needs to be maintained. And that's why I think we are preserving historic cities is very, very important to do the sustainability these days.
Masih ada yang ditanyakan, Pak?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Wisita.
Yeah. Debashish, continuing my colleague Pak Anto questions regarding the quality of the buildings, it is possible to build the new contemporary building within the old city of Ahmedabad with new pattern, with new designs of house, maybe postmodern or even deconstruction. It is possible?
No, actually, the end of December, we have to submit our conservation master plan for the UNESCO. And a special building bylaws have also been there. And we will be actually discouraging building a new pattern and modern building in the old city. But if you can keep the facade of the old building intact, then maybe sometime the building belongs to the grade 3 could be modified from inside, but still the footprint has to be maintained. So that is our latest thing, and we are trying to stick to that.
Okay, this is something that we have discussed in our seminar last time. Jadi Ibu dan Bapak sekalian, ini ada satu aturan yang memang sedang dipersiapkan, yang akhir tahun ini akan keluar master plan untuk pelestariannya di sana. Jadi pada bangunan yang grade 3 tadi dikatakan itu boleh ada pembaru. Tetapi yang lama-lama yang grade A dan B mungkin ya, itu hanya fasad yang tidak boleh dirubah, mungkin dalamnya juga bisa ada pembaharuan, ada yang modern. Mungkin itu tadi yang bisa kita dapatkan. Ada pertanyaan? Ayo silahkan. Masih ada? Tidak, Mbak? Oh iya, silahkan Pak Haidar, dipersilahkan. Ya.
Thank you for the time. My name is Haidar, and I'm a little bit curious about the pole houses. Is it shared housing like apartment, or it's private housing? Or even it is like a shop house or whatsoever. So please explain a little about the pole houses. And the second one is about the Heritage Walk of Ahmedabad. I want to ask you, who organized the Heritage Walk? If it is organized by the government or the society, or how to organize that? And also, does it only for the conservation, or it is also a tourist attraction on the old city of Ahmedabad? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I'll start with this heritage walk. As I mentioned, our initial objective was to make people of the city to appreciate the city. And one of the best we found is the heritage walk. So it was launched, you saw the film, it was part of the municipal initiative. So this walk is owned by the municipality. And initially we trained guides, volunteers, and they used to come every day morning. It's very secret of, I'm telling you how to start a heritage walk without much cost. So you fixed up a small amount, token honorarium. We used to give 100 rupees to a guide. At 8 o'clock in the morning, he would come and 7:30, come and stand in front of the starting point, which in the temple. Temple had given me a small room where used to do a slideshow. So whoever is to come, if somebody doesn't come, he will leave around 8:30, and he'll get his 100 rupees anyway. And you don't have to book. You have to just be there. So gradually people knew that 8 o'clock you go there, and so only 3,000 rupees in our Indian currency you pay per month to the guide, or if there's a two guide you pay 1,500 to 1,500. It is honorary work, and it is finished. Work finishes by 9:30, so 8 to 9:30, and then they can go to their own job. So it is not a full-time employment. So it is a matter of pride, and many times with the senior one, the junior people started joining to be there. And eventually, so many people started coming up, and it has become now a very big, like 100, 200 people even sometimes show up for the work. So initially, the only by investing 3,000 rupees per month, you actually launch a walk, and you have to have a small brochure, and that's it. So that was the secret. And the pole house is not really like shop houses, but also you can say like a shop houses. But in shop houses are open to the street, but pole houses are, you have to enter a gate and then the whole area is closed down. So it is not for the public. So we don't have any porch in front of the pole houses. But more you enter inside the old pole houses, the height of the plinth of the house is becoming little higher, so that in the evening or the end, the community can sit down after lunch to have a chat. And so one pole actually word came from Sanskrit word pratoli. Pratoli means guarded gate. Gate. So the gate has been protected with a guard. There's a room on top of the gate, which is in crisis, they shut down the gate. So the whole area is, in the night also, there's many places they shut it down. So it is a controlled space, where in the shop houses, it is open to the street. So this is the difference. But otherwise, it's 2 to 3 story, very narrow stays inside, sometimes very long in depth.
Thank you. Ya, itu tadi yang poolnya dan juga heritage walk-nya itu memang dikerjakan setiap pagi gitu, setiap hari, dan kita mendapatkan fasilitas. So we have the doggy bag, we have the map, and also many informations. Dan menariknya itu walking tour-nya itu menghubungkan antara area ini Muslim area, kemudian Hindu dan Buddha. Jadi itu juga suatu upaya untuk mentautkan. Jadi itu mengajak masyarakat itu juga melalui heritage walk, karena kita bisa mampir terus belanja-belanja gitu juga ya. Itu juga satu hal menarik. Nah, poolnya ini juga sesuatu kekuatan juga di situ yang memang khasnya ya, khasnya di daerah di situ. Dan kita bisa bayangkan 5 kilometer ya, jadi square. Nah, Bu Ari tadi bisik saya tentang upaya yang di Malioboro untuk desain. Mau ceritakan? Okay, in the part of Yogyakarta in Malioboro, so in the cosmological axis, right now they try also to make the regulations, still in the draft, that they also selected several category of the houses. One is the originality, and then the second grade, 3 and 4. And then 4 is the ones that it is already new. So the grade 1, they're supposed to be back to the original. And then the second, there will be maybe some change or whatever. So they try to develop like this. But the question is, if you have the grade 4 in Ahmedabad, and then what they have to do is empty space or already new building. They're supposed to be back to the old one, or it can be an infill design that may be similar, or it can be also contrast with the original.
No, this infill design is very tempting. So initial stage, we need to avoid it for some time. So we need to follow going back to the old one. That was the concept. Right now our heritage committee is following. And new construction, it needs a very high level of design understanding. Unfortunately, we're not yet having all the time that kind of proper design thinking. But whatever the few documents are happening, buildings are happening in a modern, but following the guidelines of the other lines in harmony with the older building. So maybe we are documenting them, and maybe some design competition, and all the institutes are doing that. So you are keeping in watch what is happening, and maybe eventually once some areas are preserved. Right now it is in various pockets, but now when the pockets gets connected, we have a longer areas of heritage. We are trying to look at the Madrid model for reconstruction. In Madrid, they have restored very poor people in Madrid, the 10,000 building in 10 years.
10,000 building in 10 years.
10 years. And they have recycled building for old age home, the market, library, public building. So how they have used the contractors, restorer, architects, they buy. So how they cut down the cost of reconstruction. So there are a lot of issues we are now, because our scale is massive. We are talking about a very big scale of issues. So, but still we are getting a lot of young generation is now joining us, which is very, very interesting. A lot of young couples are having their studio inside, artist studio and all that. So that is also very encouraging. So we are keeping watch now.
Yes, I think we have to have the following Zoom meeting when you are coming back to Ahmedabad, and maybe next month. Next month is next year. You can have another Zoom meeting with us, and then you can show the update of Ahmedabad and invite also some of your colleagues, that the young generations that develops the Ahmedabad with the new functions of the houses. Ya, kita diajak jalan-jalan gitu ya nantinya. Itu ada Bu Nanda dan Arif. That is your friend, Arif. So he's waiting for you, Bu Arif.
Arif knows Ahmedabad very well.
Ya. Nah, kalau begitu silahkan Bu Arif sekarang ceritakan deh. Gimana what is her impression of Ahmedabad? Ayo ceritakan waktu ke sana, terus keliling-keliling melihat itu. Ya, silahkan. Ini berdiri saja di sini. Enggak apa-apa.
Wah.
Langsung duduk depan juga enggak apa-apa.
Di sini aja.
Jangan nyempil.
Wah, it's been a while, Debji. Last time we met 2013, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Oh, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago in Malaysia, if I'm mistaken. Yeah. How are you? So thank you, Busita, for this talk. I think it's a surprise for me to meet you today. And I think, I went to Ahmedabad in 2005, I think with Busita as well at that time. And we have the IFSA, or International Field School on Asian Heritage. My impressions is that I think Ahmedabad is a heritage city with lots of urban heritage, not only the monuments, but also the houses and what you call it, the bird feeding tower,
the pool.
The pool. I forgot the name, but I think Debji is one of the hero for heritage conservation in India. That you involves lots of youngsters, people, and also the program that you running until now. Is it still there? The working.
But you can talk about how you are liked by the Pole people. How you are liked by the Pole people. The old city, how they invited you at their home and give you food and that in Ahmedabad, old city.
Yes.
I mean, how you are liked by
How am I like
how they liked you. That's a
yeah. Yeah, it was very memorable for me to about Ahmedabad is it's not only the way you run the program of Heritage Walk, right? I believe that before you run the program of Heritage Walk, Ahmedabad is a kind of a city with in India as also we visit Jaipur, for instance, that you show us there are so many garbage in the old city, and then after you run the heritage walk, and then the people then start to aware what they have a very precious heritage, and then they start to I would to say regard or they love their own city, and then they start to also participate with your program. And I just also know that now Ahmedabad is already the World Heritage City already.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations! So hopefully Jogja will then also follow Ahmedabad. Great. And also that is why we we come here. We actually, Busita, maybe hopefully next year we can have another IFSA or program in Ahmedabad. What do you think? Yeah, it will also involve the students not only from Gajah Mada but also from other university in Yogyakarta. So good to see you. Thank you. Thank you, Bu Sita.
Terima kasih. Ya, tadi harapannya next year we will have the IFSA. IFSA is International Field School of Asian Heritage. Ya, jadi kita mengharapkan juga bisa ada, nanti bisa jalan lagi ke sana. I have a question for you. Because this is a question also yesterday related with the one that you mentioned previously about Malacca. Because Malacca now they have a lot of tourists and become a lot of disaster from tourism. So what do you think with yours and also in Yogyakarta? And how about in Ahmedabad to face this kind of conditions like in Malacca? And what do you think also about Yogyakarta when we also accepted as a World Heritage related to the tourism movement, that mass tourism especially? So what is yours?
Actually, thank you for the question, because I have been following the Malacca case for many years, and I have seen the disaster. Actually, whenever you are working with such a delicate small area, government has a responsibility, and which is normally, they couldn't make it. But maybe it will learn and absorb the big forces somehow, and maybe control the core area, and then the tourist can go to the other area. Maybe the riverfront is becoming a better area where it can absorb maybe more tourists. And the core area needs to be like in Nepal, the Bhaktapur, the municipality charges an entry ticket for the tourist, and that the municipality earns money for maintenance. And so you have to, like in London, if you want to bring your car, you have to pay very high tax in the old city. So there are methods all over. So government have to really have a plan to protect the heritage city, and very seriously, and then go for it. Because I hope I'm unfortunately, I think original residences must have left by now. I don't know the present situation last 3-4 years, but there are very conscious citizens. They care for the old city. Only thing that how you create a management plan is the challenge. Malacca, and for Jogja, I feel that the Sultanate area, the fort and the palace is very delicate, but still, like Ahmedabad, not many tourists come as such. So once you have the statistics, and again you have to go back to the management plan, how this delicate situation could be managed and controlled. So that has to be built in from the beginning. Ahmedabad is a big city, so it can absorb as many people come so far. So that's Ahmedabad. They won't be compared with Jogja and Malacca. But Malacca is a very delicate, and one needs to take it as a case study that how to save it, how to save Malacca from the heritage disaster. Yeah.
Ya, ini tadi saran-saran dari Pak Debashish bagaimana menyelamatkan ya kota-kota itu yang heritage-nya itu. Jadi ini bagaimana? Apakah ada pertanyaan lagi dari teman-teman yang ada di Zoom? Silahkan, ini banyak mahasiswa juga di Zoom. Silahkan kalau ada pertanyaan. Dan dari di sini masih ada lagi, Bu Erni. Monggo silahkan.
Yang saya bahasa Indonesia saja.
Enggak apa-apa.
Menjadi World Heritage pasti ada satu keunikan tersendiri, merupakan satu karakteristik sendiri yang tidak dipunyai oleh negara lain. Nah, bertanya dengan 3.000 rumah ya kalau di sana, itu yang merupakan keunikannya.
12.000 rumah.
12.000 rumah dalam 5 kilometer. Apa yang menjadi keunikannya, karakteristiknya? Karena tadi dilihat di sana ada beberapa ukiran kayu. Apa itu bentuk gerbangnya atau apa? Itu kita pengen tahu. Matur nuwun.
Yeah. So she would like to know more from your presentation related to the Ahmedabad. What is actually the main uniqueness of Ahmedabad? Because, for instance, the carvings, the wood carving that they have also in the houses. This is what is actually the most unique of those.
Town plan also.
So another one. Jadi yang pertama town plan-nya. Jadi tata ruangnya itu yang sangat. Any others?
Also the people's attitude. They always travel internationally are keeping the original route.
Jadi ini malahan attitude perilaku dari masyarakatnya itu memang mau kembali ke originalnya, ke asliannya. Jadi ini yang luar biasa. Jadi makanya jadi yang masyarakatnya itu kan benar-benar digandeng gitu.
A very strong community. The pool is like
karena masing-masing dalam pool itu tadi. Jadi pool itu kan satu area jadi ada banyak pool begitu dan mereka kuat hubungannya. Sebenarnya kita kuat dengan rukun tetangga loh dulu itu. Jadi misalnya gamelan itu ada sendiri kan, itu yang seharusnya dibangun. Tapi memang di kita ini kan langsung ke yang kerajaan ya. Jadi dan bukan kota sebenarnya. So the difference between Ahmedabad and Yogyakarta, Ahmedabad is more in the old city. But here we are more in the monuments actually. Monumen yang kemudian disertakan juga intangible heritage as well. So not in the square, in the fortification. And Ahmedabad is in the fortification, inside of the fortification that is called Old City of Ahmedabad. So that is a little bit the difference.
Not small, big old city.
Big, yes, big fortifications, yes. Dan sangat menarik sih memang di sana itu. Yang tadi di setiap poolnya ada bird feeder yang itu cantik sekali memang. Ukir-ukiran dan itu terawat dari dulu sampai sekarang.
Artinya begini Mbak Sita, apakah ada satu peraturan dari government yang betul-betul nge-push mereka supaya kembali ke dulu? Begitu ya. Jadi ini kita dengan Jogja ya beda. Jogja ini bangunan heritage banyak sekali. Saya ingat waktu di Taman Pintar salah satu bangunannya disewa Sariusada, yang nyewa tentu saja ngecatnya sembarangan begitu ya, kepinginnya warna begini, akhirnya kita disemprit, setelah jadi disemprit, akhirnya jendela-jendela dari kayu yang tadinya sudah kita teteli, kita kembalikan lagi. Nah, hal-hal ini peran di sana seperti apa sehingga mereka betul-betul handar beni aku kembali ke ori lagi itu.
She asked, how is the government regulation, or is there any regulation from the governments that make the local people have a sense of belonging of their houses? So they try to keep their houses as original, or this is because of the government regulations. So this is something that she would like to confirm.
I think is very important question. This is a kind of a chicken egg situation. Egg came before or the chicken came before, you know. So you have to have the law first or people's acceptance of the law first. So you never do it at a go, and it can never happen because law has to be passed by the political will and the legislator. So you do, first you have to make people, why it took 25 years, because first you have to say there's something called heritage exists. Then you have to make politicians come.
Excuse me, what is the one? Heritage?
Exist.
Exist, okay.
Like people don't recognize the heritage. So you have to make them educate first that what is heritage, why it needs to be protected, why it is important, why it is proud. That's why this heritage walk, this festival, this the art show, you know, all these things, and then you engage the political leader, the municipal councillor, started using their funding money which has been wasted, being useful. So people are normally very threatened by heritage law. And then you have to, and beside the heritage law is not a blanket. It has tax laws, it has different policy laws. So heritage law is a small part of the heritage bylaw. So once people started appreciating, and then you have to look for an opportunity. When some major building was going or something disaster happening, so you quickly bring in your paper and get it signed by the politician that they need to pass a heritage law to protect the building or the density. So there is no one answer. Every situation is different, but you have to be very conscious. You have to do a lot of positive work, make people see the benefit of heritage, use media a lot, write about it, but you have to be very focused and keep the law ready. For Ahmedabad, law was drafted, we have a seminar, we have a conference. So everybody has accepted and authenticated the drafting of the law. But they know it is not going to happen. But the drafting is an academic exercise which is very important to do. So you have to really keep the draft ready. And it has to go through continuous discussion, and so the law has to be there. Without that, you cannot use the law. But then you wait for an opportunity. Maybe there's a earthquake happened, maybe a disaster happened, maybe some positive person has come, and then this World Heritage is also a nice way to look at. So in that opportunity, your law should be ready. In fact, for Ahmedabad, we did the whole thing. Then there is another area called Gandhinagar next to Ahmedabad, which is the capital city. Because they had no heritage, so they passed the law. They took Ahmedabad, changed Ahmedabad to Gandhinagar and passed the law. When I got it for Ahmedabad, one day our Prime Minister now, Mr. Modi, he was Chief Minister, he ordered 300 IAS officer, the administrative officer, to go for the heritage walk. And there was a court case. So something happened. So municipality agreed to buy that property, which is a modern structure, Calico Dome, or is a Fuller design dome. And Miss Whitey tried to protect it. So the court says that if you want to declare it as a heritage, do the proper job, bring the list and all that. And moment court asked, we had the law and everything ready. We took that law, which is already passed, cut the Gandhinagar, put Ahmedabad, and submitted to the court. So what you mean is that you have to do your homework and then wait for the opportunity.
Bagaimana Bu? Ya, jadi memang aturan itu kan juga terus harus melihat perkembangannya dan memang harus mendorong juga bagaimana di sana itu betul-betul masyarakatnya tetap melestarikan yang ada. Oke, Ibu dan Bapak, ini sudah semakin sore. Masih ada pertanyaan, termasuk yang di Zoom? Masih ada pertanyaan? Kalau tidak, ini dari Jogja Heritage Society ada satu kenang-kenangan untuk for you.
Oh.
It's not Javanese quote, but this is something from Yogyakarta. This is for you, and please open it. Terima kasih Pak Debashish. Harapannya nanti akan datang lagi ke Jogja. Dan we are waiting also for the next years continuing discussions. You can wear it as you usually have. Okay. Jadi Ibu dan Bapak yang ada di Zoom dan ada di Erik, terima kasih untuk kehadirannya, dan diskusi dengan Ahmedabad ini tidak hanya sekarang ini, tetapi kita akan meneruskan lagi tahun depan, dan tahun depan kita akan lebih mendalam lagi, mendarat lagi tentang ekonomi pusaka. Mari sekali lagi tepuk tangan untuk Pak Debashish, terima kasih, thank you very much. And see you for the future collaboration. Thank you.